where so many fail. The ordinary individual sitting down to give a treatment to his business unconsciously does just the thing that he should have avoided, and then he wonders why he did not get the desired results. Most people simply sit and wish for or long for something. They may even have a great desire or hope. They may even go so far as to believe that that desire is going to happen. All this is good as far as it goes, but it does not go far enough. What we must do is to provide that already having received attitude. This may seem hard at first, but we can easily see that it is necessary. And as it is the only way the mind works, this is what we must do. Power is, and mind is, and life is. But they have to flow through us in order to express in our lives. We are dealing with law, and nature must be obeyed before it will work for us. Just realize that this law is as natural a law as any other of God's laws, and use it with the same intelligence that you would use the law of electricity. Then you will get the desired results. We provide the thought form around which the divine energies play, and to which they attract the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of the thought. When we give a treatment, this is all that we have to do. But before we can do even this, we have to clear our minds of all fear, of every sense of separation from the divine mind. Law is, but we must enforce it or use it in our own lives. Nothing can happen to us that is not first an accepted belief in our own consciousness. We may not always be aware of what is going on within, but practice will enable us to control our thought more and more so that we shall be able to think what we want to think, regardless of what may seem to be the case. Each person has within himself the capacity of knowing and making use of the law, but it must be consciously developed. This is done by practice and by willingness to learn and to utilize whatever we know so far we have gone. The individual who has the most power is the one who has the greatest realization of the divine presence, and to whom this means the most as an active principle of his life. We all need more backbone and less wishbone. There is something which waits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power in the universe. Using the imagination. Just imagine yourself surrounded by mind, so plastic, so receptive, that it receives the slightest impression of your thought. Whatever you think, it takes up and upon. Not some, but all thoughts. Every thought is received and acted upon. Whatever the pattern we provide, that will be our demonstration. If we cannot get over thinking that we are poor, then we will still remain poor. As soon as we become rich in our thought, then we will be rich in our expression. These are not mere words, but the deepest truth that has ever come to the human race. Hundreds of thousands of the most intelligent thinkers and the most spiritual people of our day are proving this truth. We are not dealing with illusions, but with realities. Pay no more attention to the one who ridicules these ideas than you would to the blowing of the wind. In the center of your own soul, choose what you want to become, to accomplish. Keep it to yourself. Every day, in the silence of absolute conviction, know that it is now done. It is just as much done as far as you are concerned, as it will be when you experience it in the outer. Imagine yourself to be what you want to be. See only that which you desire. Refuse even to think of the other. Stick to it. Never doubt. Say many times a day, I am that thing. Realize what this means. It means that the great universal power of mind is that, and it cannot fail. Man's right of choice. Man is created an individual, and as such, he has the power of choice. Many people seem to think that man should not choose. Since he has asked the Spirit to lead him, he need no longer act or choose. This is taught by many teachers, but it is not consistent with our individuality. Unless we had this privilege, this power of choice, we would not be individuals. What we must do, and what we need to learn, is that the Spirit can choose through us. But when this happens, it is an act on our part. Even though we say, I will not choose, we are still choosing because we are choosing not to choose. We cannot escape the fact that we are made in such a way that at every step life is a constant choice. What we do need to do is to select what we feel to be right and know that the universe will never deny us anything. We choose and mind creates. We should endeavor to choose that which will express always a greater life. And we must remember that the Spirit is always seeking to express love and beauty through us. If we are attuned to these and are working in harmony with the great creative power, we need have no doubt about its willingness to work for us. We must know exactly what it is that we wish and get the perfect mental picture of it. We must believe absolutely that we now have it and never do or say anything that denies it. One of the besetting errors of people is a belief that they are too old to do things. This comes from a lack of understanding what life really is. Life is consciousness and not years. The man or woman who is 70 years old should be better able to demonstrate than the man who is only 20. He should have evolved a higher thought, and it is thought and not conditions that we are dealing with. Amelia Barr was 53 before she wrote a book. After that, she wrote over 80, all of which had a large circulation. Mary Baker Eddy was 60 before she began her work, and she attended to all of her great activities until she passed from this plane to a higher one. The author of this book once took a man who was over 61 who thought his chance for success had gone, and through teaching him these principles, in a year's time made him a prosperous businessman. He is now doing well and was never before in his life so happy. The last time he was interviewed, he said that business was increasing every day and that he had not begun yet. Every day he stands in his store and claims more activity. He speaks the word and realizes increase all the time. If this were not true, then life would not be worth the living. What is a few years in eternity? We must get over these false notions about age and competition. In the truth, the word competition is never mentioned. The people who think about it have never known the truth. Life is what we make it from within and never from without. We are just as old as we think we are, no matter what the number of years may have been that we have lived on this planet. Demonstrating success in business. All demonstrations take place within ourselves. Creation is eternally flowing through all things. The law is always working from that inner pattern. We do not struggle with conditions. We use principles which create conditions. What we can mentally encompass, we can accomplish, no matter how hard it may seem from the outside. All external things are but the outer rim of inner thought activity. You can easily prove this for yourself if you are in business, say running an ice cream stand or counter, and are not doing good business. Look carefully into your own thought and see what you will find. You will find that it is an established belief that the business is not good. You are not feeling a sense of activity. You will not find within your thought any feeling of success. You are not expecting many customers. Now, suppose someone comes along and says to you, "What is the matter? Why are you not doing more business?" This is about what the answer would be. People don't seem to want what I have to sell. Or perhaps something like this: I am too old to compete with modern methods. Or even, well, times are hard. All this is negative thought. Now this man to whom you are talking does not believe a word you have said. He knows that causation in his mind and not in matter, and he says the whole thing is in your own mind. The trouble with you is that you don't feel that you are a success. Perhaps you have heard something of this before. If so, you will ask him what he means. Or perhaps you think he is talking about something peculiar. But we are taking it for granted that you are so anxious to do something to make your business a success that you will be willing to try anything. So you ask him to explain. He begins by telling you, all is mind. Nothing moves, but mind moves it, and that you are a center in this mind. You do not understand how this relates in any way to your business. But he goes on to say that your thought decides whether your business shall be a success or a failure. Here you become indignant and ask if he means to tell you that you want to fail. Of course he knows you do not, and he explains that while you wish success, you are thinking failure, fearing it, and that there is a law that makes your thought, never asking questions, but at once set about its fulfillment. You become interested and ask how this can be. In return, you are asked this question: how did anything come into being? This sets you to thinking, and of course you realize that there was a time when nothing existed but life. So whatever has come into being must have come from that life. For what we see must come from that which we do not see. You have to admit that. Then what you do not see must be the cause of everything. And you must also admit that, and that cause works by law. This you are compelled to admit. Then this law, being everywhere, must be in you. This is harder for you to see, but after much thought, you begin to realize that it is so. Then, you, without knowing where your thought processes were leading you, have conceded that you yourself are the reason for what happens in your life, be it success or failure. God couldn't make you any other way, and at the same time make you a self-choosing individual. This is plain. Now, what are you going to do about it? This is what you must do. For every time that you have thought failure, you are going to replace it with strong, radiant thoughts of success. You are going to speak activity into your business. You are going daily to see nothing but activity, and to know that it is law that you are using, universal law, and as such, your thought is as sure as the thought of God. Daily, you are going to give to the great creative mind exactly what you want to happen. You will see only what you desire, and in the silence of your soul you will speak, and it will be done unto you. You will come to believe that a great divine love flows through you and your affairs. You will be grateful for this love. It fills your life. It satisfies your soul. You are a different man. You are so filled with activity and courage that when you meet people, they will wonder at your energy. They will begin to wish simply to come in contact with you. They will feel uplifted. In the course of a few months, you will be a success. People will come to you and say, "How did you do it?" The answer will be the same that was given to you a few months ago. Let the man who is speaking to the public do the same thing. Let him daily see throngs of people coming to hear him. Let him see nothing else. He will experience what he feels and sees. Always remember this: life is from within outward, and never from without inward. You are the center of power in your own life. Be sure and not take on false suggestions. The world is full of calamity howlers. Turn from them, every one, no matter how great you think they may be. You haven't the time to waste over anything that is negative. You are a success, and you are giving to the law every day just what you want done. And the law is always working for you. All fear has gone, and you know that there is but one power in the universe. Happy is the man who knows this, the greatest of all truths. The whole thing resolves itself into our mental ability to control our thoughts. The man who can do this can have what he wants, can do what he wishes, and becomes what he wills. Life, God, the universe is his. Money, a spiritual idea. Many people seem to think that money must be evil, but actually it is only an inordinate love of money that is characterized as the root of all evil. If all is an expression of life, then money is an expression of life, and as such must be good. Without a certain amount of it in this life, we would have a hard time. But how to get it? That is the race problem. How shall we acquire wealth? Money didn't make itself, and not being self-creative, it must be an effect. Behind it must be the cause that projects it. That cause is never seen. No cause is ever seen. Consciousness is cause, and people who have a money consciousness have the outward expression of it. People who have it as a sure reality in their mind have it as an expression in their pocket. People who don't have this mental likeness don't have money in their pockets. What we need to do is to acquire a money consciousness. This may seem very material, but the true idea of money is not material, it is spiritual. We need to make our unity with it. We can never do this while we hold it away from us by thinking that we haven't it. Let us change the method and begin to make our unity with supply by daily declaring that all the power in the universe is daily bringing to us all that we can use. Feel the presence of supply. Know that it is yours now. Make yourself feel that you now have, and to you shall be given. Work with yourself until there is nothing in you that doubts. Money cannot be kept away from the man who understands that all is mind and that divine law governs his life. Daily give thanks for perfect supply. Feel it to be yours. Then you have entered into the full possession of it now. Refuse to talk poverty or limitation. Stick to it that you are rich. Get the billion-dollar consciousness. There is no other way, and this will react into everything that you do. See money coming to you from every source and from every direction. Know that everything is working for your good. Realize in your life the presence of an omnipotent power. Speak forth into it and feel that it responds to your approach. Whenever you see anything or anybody whom you think has more than you, at once affirm that you have the same thing. This doesn't mean that you have what is his, but that you have as much. It means that all you need is yours. Whenever you think about anything big, at once say, "That means me." In this way, you learn to unify yourself in the law with large concepts and according to the way that law works. It will tend to produce that thing for you. Never let yourself doubt for even a minute. Always be positive about yourself. Keep watch over the inner workings of your thought, and the law will do the rest.